Welcome to Pashua's Moment with Pastor Charles Kiyaga.
Yes, praise the Lord, brethren. We are back again on our program, The Pashua's Moment. And as always, I am your servant, Pastor Charles, and I'm here to bring you a voice that mobilizes us to seek God. We are learning from the spiritual patriarchs, the people who walked with God, and what their experience was and what we learn out of them, so that we can also determine to make that expedition. We can walk the journey and be able to see God's goodness and God's faithfulness. These men were not born different. In fact, Abraham was born in a house where they were worshiping other gods. Actually, his father was an artisan who was making idols of those foreign gods, and he was making a living out of that. But when God pulled him out, he came out, and he discovered that these idols are not gods, and eventually God revealed himself to Abraham, and Abraham chose to walk that way. I tell you, God can make you patriarch. He can make you a God seeker if you chose to make up your mind to choose to seek God. We are here in Genesis chapter 20 verses. Now we are going to read verses 17. Okay? And Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female servants. Then they bore children. Just imagine, in that night, God had judged Abimelech that if Abimelech took that man's wife, Abimelech, his wife and his female servants and his daughters would never have children. For the Lord had closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Just in one night, God had already passed judgment, and all the females in the family of Abimelech, their wombs had been closed. The wife of Abimelech could never have a child. The female servants of Abimelech could never have children. The daughters of Abimelech could never have children, just because of that one night that Abimelech had made a mistake to take Abraham's wife. And yet he did it innocently, but God had passed judgment. I wish to have that God. I just desire that may be my God. A God who can defend you, where everybody sees it as impossible. God defended Abraham vehemently, and he ended up reprimanding the entire house of Abimelech, closing the wombs of all the women in that house, because he had taken a man's wife. And yet the man is the one who had cornered him by a lie to tell him that this is my wife. But God defended him. I tell you, if we choose to seek God, God will defend us. God will defend you where it is undefendable. And now Abraham prayed for Abimelech, and God opened the wombs of all the women, all the females in the house of Abimelech, and in his palace. All the women now their wombs were opened, because God had closed them. I tell you, God, in a twinkling of an eye, he can make a judgment. In one night, he can make a judgment of an entire city for the sake of his only one servant, whom they have mistreated. Abraham. Just that one night, the entire family of Abimelech and the entire palace of Abimelech, all the females, their wombs had been closed, just because of this one servant, Abraham. Now, how many of us would not wish to have a God who defends his servants that way? I wish to make God my stronghold, my hiding place, a God who can defend you where it is undefendable, a God who can protect you. Even when you are the one in wrong, he will side with you, because you have chosen to go God's side. Can we choose to go God's side, and God will become our defender? God will become our protector. God will become our provider. God will become our source of everything. Abraham walked out of the palace of Abimelech, a rich man, with flocks of sheep and oxen, with male and female servants, with silver and gold, pieces of silver, because he is a servant of God. Because you are a servant of God, because you are a friend of God, God will provide for you. Even where you would be robbed, you will eventually be provided with abundance, because God is with you and God is your strength. May God bless, may God give us the grace to choose to take that God as our stronghold, so that we are blessed instead of being cursed.
Eyo yebadde Pursuers Moment ng'ekutusiddwako essomero lya Pursuers Junior School erisangibwa mu Butambala ku kkubo lya Mpigi Gombe. Kati wulira enkizo eriwo singa otwala omwana wo ku Pursuers Junior School. Interviews za bwereere. Essomero liyimiridde ku musingi ogutya Katonda ate ng'omwana agonjolwa abakugu. Tutumbula ebitone eby'enjawulo mu mwana. Tulina amazzi amayonjo ku ssomero ate ng'omwana w'asomera ne weyeebaka abanga mukungu. Endya y'abayizi nnungi byansusso anti emmere tugirimira nga ne faamu y'ente weeri ku ssomero. Tulina emmotoka ezitambuza abaana. Pursuers Junior School e Butambala tusomesa abaana okuva mu baby class okutuuka ku kibiina ekyomusanvu. Mudene boarding okumanya ebisingawo 0772 41 98 4 ne 0702 36 41 64. Pursuers Junior School Butambala, in pursuit of knowledge.